think what I want to raise with you is that it's either you're correct or you're truthful that this was a tender for another institution and not for Tshwane, or in fact, it was for Tshwane. And I want to suggest to you that at 228, where you say we need a grade A guards, that suggests that you're speaking for Tshwane, because at that time you are the CFO of Tshwane. So you are speaking, you're telling Sergeant Nkosi what your employer, what your institution needs. And for me, that is consistent with what you do at page 178, after you are given a list that we find at 177, which has Ngapesheya item 2, that list where you are to deal with matters in order of priority. And your response to that list, first you say, thanks Mfowethu, I'm on top of this, but more importantly, and this is what I'm raising with you, at 178, right at the top, you say, this is ours, Mfowethu. This is the final list, right? So this is ours, Mfowethu, of a list that contains Ngapesheya. When you read that with 228, where you say we need grade A guards, speaks to a Tshwane tender in which you have an interest, and the interest being that Ngapesheya gets this contract, whether or not you're going to get money or not, your interest is that Ngapesheya gets this tender. So that's the first scenario, and I say to you, that's a more probable picture of what was happening here. The second is what you are saying. The second possibility is, just you can do notes of what I'm putting to you so that you can respond. The second is, you're correct. The possibility is you're correct. This was for another institution, and you were assisting with completing the Ngapesheya documents so that they are successful in that tender with another institution. But that is still problematic for your position, because you are promoting or rooting for the commercial success, financial success of Ngapesheya to succeed in that tender. And that must raise a problem for your position in the BAC as the chairperson, because on the one transaction, you clearly want Ngapesheya to succeed with another institution if we believe and accept that it was for another institution. Well, when you're a chairperson, we must accept that you still have the same interest and bias towards Ngapesheya that it must succeed, even if you get nothing. So on either scenario, it's not helpful to you. In the one, it's an outright case of an illegality, in fact. In the one where you are participating in the corruption of a tender process that is already underway at Tshwane. The alternative is you're promoting the financial interests of Ngapesheya in another institution, and that should have disqualified you to sit as a BAC chair in Tshwane 1, or in fact you should have declared. You may comment if you want to.
Thank you, Commissioner. With your permission, I would really like to comment on that. And commenting, I want to start on the first scenario that you gave. The first scenario that you gave, you mentioned that this is probable that this was for a City of Tshwane tender, and I'd probably say for TMPD 1. So I'm going to request us to do that same exercise and to test whether grade A guards were necessary for TMPD 1. This will, in some way or form, try and deal with this aspect conclusively now. So you look at the same annexes that I provided on GM 13. On GM 13, I want to refer you to two places. The second bundle of my own submissions. In the message, it was clear that the requirement for that bid was grade A. If you look at page 156 of the second bundle, page 156 of the second bundle, right at the bottom, personnel per region, security personnel, 2 grade B or higher, meaning grade B is sufficient. Further to that, I want to take you to page number, just 1 minute. I'll take you to the evaluation criteria. There we go. For argument's sake, we could refer to page 212 of my bundle still, Commissioner Baloyi. On my bundle still, page 212, right at the top, to validate that this was grade B and nothing more. So based on that, I would refer to the Commission to this instance and to state on record that there was no relationship whatsoever. So the first situation is completely not there. The first scenario that you have provided, Commissioner Baloyi, is completely not existent because this was a requirement for grade B guards. The document that I was assessing was purely for grade A. So on those grounds, there's no relation whatsoever to that. And we can't, with all due respect, link that to 177 and 178. It's completely not related.
Can I just ask you a question for clarification? In that page 212,
Yes.
there is a grade B supervisor.
Yes.
And there's a grade C
Yes.
guard.
Yes.
And your certificate here is a grade B, the one that you were discussing with Commissioner Khumalo. So what is the relationship here?
So grade A.
Specifically, I'm asking B and C because
Okay.
you are referring us to 212
Yes.
as evidence to show
Yes.
that, in fact, the requirement of TMPD 1 was not A.
Yes.
What do I see in 212?
What you see in 212 is firstly that you needed grade B or higher. So grade B was the highest that you needed. If you had grade A, it's just a plus. It's not going to score you any additional points. Grade C was the lower level guards. So in terms of hierarchy, there's grade A, B, and C guards. A is presumably the highest level, from my understanding. For the standard TMPD1, they needed only grade B and grade C. And Kapashia, by virtue of having grade B as their director, they had grade C in terms of all other guards. So now I'm going to move over to the second